Welcome to Just Asia, AHRC TV weekly human rights program. These are the headlines. Indian court sentences police officers to life imprisonment after 31 years. Fears of return to rights abuse in Sri Lanka as Rajapaksa sworn in. India ranks 14th of Global Impunity Index. Pakistan's late Asma Jahangir wins UN Human Rights Prize. Special reporter on human rights visit Cambodia. Welcome to AHRC TV's Just Asia. I'm Alexandra. This week, Just Asia begins with India, where the Delhi High Court sentenced 16 police officers to life imprisonment Wednesday for killing 42 Muslim men in 1987, setting aside a lower court's acquittal of the 16 officials of the Provincial Armed Constabulary. The High Court called the killings that took place in Hashimpura a target killing by the armed force. The Hashimpura killings are often mentioned as one of the worst custodial killings in India, where law enforcement agencies picked up hundreds of innocent civilians, chose a few of them, killed them in cold blood, and threw their bodies in kennels to destroy evidence. Of the 19 officers accused in the case, 3 died during the trial. Though excruciatingly late, the conviction is expected to give victims' family members some closure and hope to others wronged by law enforcement agencies. In Sri Lanka, President Maithripala Sirisena's shocking decision to appoint former President Mahinda Rajapaksa as Prime Minister has raised fears about the country's return to past abusive practices. The sudden announcement last Friday to sack Prime Minister Ranil Wickremasinghe was made without informing Parliament or the Cabinet. Under the 19th Amendment to Sri Lanka's constitution, the President may only appoint a new Prime Minister under certain conditions, including the death of the Prime Minister, resignations in writing, or a vote of no confidence in Parliament against the government for a list set of reasons. At the height of his power, Mr. Rajapaksa simultaneously served as President and Finance Minister, among other cabinet positions, while his 3 brothers served as the Defense Secretary and Ministers of Economy and Ports. Controlling 80% of the national budget, they were accused of corruption and major human rights abuses. Political opponents and critical journalists often disappeared. Brad Adams, Human Rights Watch Asia Director, notes that Rajapaksa's return to high office without any justice for past crimes raises chilling concerns for human rights in Sri Lanka. It reopens the door for past abusers to return to their terrible practices. Since Rajapaksa was sworn in as Prime Minister, there have been reports that his supporters took over the state media, which had become very independent under the Sirisena government. Next, India has once again been included in the Committee for the Protection of Journalists Global Impunity Index. For 2018, the index included countries that had 5 or more unsolved murders of journalists killed for their work. From September 2008 to August 2018, with 18 unresolved cases, India landed at the 14th position. The Impunity Index is published annually to mark the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists on November 2nd. India has been on the list 11 times and was ranked 12th in 2017. In 2016, the International Federation of Journalists lists India as the 8th most dangerous country for journalists. In the past 2 years, India has seen a worsening of the situation. March 2018 saw the death of 3 journalists in deliberate hit-and-run accidents. Sandeep Sharma in Madhya Pradesh, who had been investigating the powerful scent mafia in the state, and Naveen Nischal and Vijay Singh in Bihar, were all killed within the span of 24 hours. Veteran journalist Gauri Lankesh was fatally shot just outside of her home in Bangalore in September 2017 after she published reports critical of Hindu extremists. At the time of Lankesh's death, Reporters Without Borders said that journalists in India are increasingly the targets of online smear campaigns by the most radical nationalists, who vilify them and even threaten physical reprisals. Other countries on the list include Bangladesh, Pakistan, the Philippines, and Afghanistan. Late Pakistan human rights activist and lawyer Asma Jahangir was posthumously announced as one of the winners of the UN Human Rights Prize on October 26. Jahangir was chosen for the prize along with 3 others, including Rebecca Gyumi of Tanzania, Brazil's first indigenous lawyer Joenia Wapichana, and Ireland's human rights organization's Frontline Defenders. Asma Jahangir died earlier this year on February 11th due to cardiac arrest at the age of 66. She was known for her outspoken nature and relentless pursuit of human rights, remaining undaunted in the face of extreme pressure and opposition. She was the first woman to serve as the president of Pakistan's Supreme Court Bar Association. The United Nations Prize in the field of human rights is an honorary award given for outstanding achievement in human rights. The prize was established in 1966 and awarded for the first time in 1968, on the 20th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The 2018 award ceremony will take place on December 10th, International Human Rights Day in New York. Moving to Cambodia, the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in Cambodia, Rana Smith, is currently visiting the country. During her 11-day visit ending next Thursday, Smith is to meet senior government officials, representatives of civil society, and members of the diplomatic community. Smith has regularly undertaken official missions to Cambodia since being appointed as UN Special Rapporteur in March 2015. At the 39th session of the AHRC in Geneva on September 26 this year, Smith criticized the July Cambodia national elections. She also called into question the Supreme Court's dissolution of the Cambodia National Rescue Party and the jailing of its former president, Kem Sokha. Smith urged the Cambodian government to improve its human rights record in order to achieve its UN Sustainable Development Goals. Peace without justice is unsustainable. Development without freedom leaves people behind, Smith said in her report submitted to the Geneva sessions in September. Former opposition lawmaker U Chanrath on Sunday said Smith's visit would bring new pressure on the government to bring democracy back on track. That is all for this episode of Just Asia. For more on this and other issues, please visit www.humanrights.asia or www.alrc.asia/justasia. Thank you for watching and see you next week.